You ladies can come off that wall, please, and have a seat. Been a very difficult day for our family here, and Bob will talk about that when we get to the prayer, but just want everybody to be thinking about people, because you never know what's going to happen in a day's life. So as soon as we get a little closer, I'm going to start the meeting and then we'll proceed. You can continue to talk amongst yourselves just for a few more minutes until we get a little closer to where we're going to start. Good evening and welcome to the December 9th, 2025 combined regular meeting of the organizational meeting of the Gaston County Board of Commissioners. My name is Chad Brown. I serve as chairman of the board as well as commissioner of the Riverbend Township. I would like to welcome our viewers and thank Spectrum Cable and AT&T for making it possible for our citizens. For our television and live streaming audience, I would like to present your Gaston County Commissioner beginning on my far right.
Alan Fraley, Cherville Township.
Good evening, Scott Sheehan, Gastonia Township.
Good evening, Jim Bailey, South Point Township.
Kathy Cloninger, Dallas Township.
Wishing everyone a Merry Christmas and a happy holiday season. Bob Hovis, Crowder's Mountain Township.
This time I ask you, please remove your hats. We'll do that for the maintaining of the meeting, but also we're going to stand and for the pledge would be for Commissioner Sheehan, and the invocation will be given by Commissioner Hovis.
If you will, please bow with me. Gracious Father, we all face challenges every day, those foreseen and unforeseen. In the last 24 hours, an individual that's a part of our Sons of the American Revolution and Daughters of the American Revolution who participated vigorously in their activities has unexpectedly passed. Father, at this time of the year, death is always tragic, but it's especially hurtful when we find ourselves having to grieve today. Father, we ask that you put your arms around this family. Father, we ask that you give them your healing touch and give them the strength as they persevere during these next weeks of grief. Father, it's our wishes that we all reach out to individuals every day and be a part of their lives and be a part of the support system of our community, because we have that charge that you've given us to look after one another. And we all ask that in Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I want to take a point of personal privilege and add something to the agenda tonight. It's already on the agenda as item S, but it'll be a proclamation, commendation, certificate for our K-9 chief. Chuck, if you'll bring him in, and Commissioner Sheehan, take care. Anybody from the sheriff's office wishes to join them? I think y'all know the rules about the dog, so y'all can sit if you need to. Go ahead, Chuck, over here with.
People in here playing town, he searched this thing for y'all for me. More times you can count. Appreciate it, brother.
You want me to wait on them?
He's friendly.
Okay, here we go. Whereas North Carolina General Statute 160A-266 dictates the procedure for disposal of surplus property, and whereas the Gaston County Sheriff's Office has a German Shepherd K-9 by the name of Chief that is failing to perform his duties as a member of the K-9 team in handler protection and explosive detection, and whereas the K-9 Chief has been examined and treated by a veterinarian licensed by the state of North Carolina for discospondylitis involving an infection in his spine, it is recommended that Chief be retired at this point due to the safety of the K-9 and his handler. Now therefore be it resolved by the Gaston County Board of Commissioners that this German Shepherd K-9 be declared as surplus and removed from the Sheriff's Office inventory. The Gaston County Sheriff's Office be authorized to dispose of this K-9 according to North Carolina General Statute 160A-266 and make this K-9 available for private sale to K-9 handler Deputy Chuck Costner for $1, who will be responsible for all further medical and housing expenses once Chief is retired. Would you like to say anything?
Yeah. I normally just talk off the cuff, but it's better if I don't, because we'll be here all night. Anybody that knows me knows that. All right. Chief is officially retiring after nearly 6 years of service with the Gaston County Sheriff's Office. During his career, he's tracked runaway and lost children, located criminal suspects. Where you just from?
He tracked runaway and lost children, located criminal suspects, completed numerous bomb sweeps. He was often called on to search buildings and venues before the arrival of dignitaries, including sitting presidents and their families. No matter the hour, whether it was 2 a.m. or time to head home, Chief was always willing and ready to work. He approached every assignment with dedication and determination, consistently giving his all. Chief took on anything that was asked of him and never hesitated to step up. He also loved doing demonstrations for school groups, and that quickly became one of his favorite parts of the job. Chief was friendly by nature, but the moment a call required seriousness, he shifted right into work mode and became the steady presence everyone relied on. Throughout his 6 years, Chief proved himself to be reliable, hardworking, and truly committed to the work. His service has made a meaningful impact, and he has certainly earned the chance to enjoy a quieter, well-deserved retirement.
Thanks, sir.
Hey, Chuck, just so you know, we know what Chief's meant to you and this group of the county commissioner by coming through. This board's going to take care of your $1 for you. Thank you for your
I
service.
appreciate that.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, thank you for your support. I want to thank Deputy Costner. He has been a very dedicated canine handler, and as you can see, they love their animals just like their children. This is a tough departure for us. It's been a hit for us just to lose him off the road. So thank you all so much, and thank the citizens. Chuck, thank you. And as customary, we will be presenting Chief with his badge.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it. Come here, dude. Chief, lights. All right, thank you.
Do I hear a motion to approve the proclamation as presented
So
today?
moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Hovis, seconded by Commissioner Bailey. All in favor? It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. I will now call the December regular meeting to order. The commission will take citizens' comments in a public hearing. For 4 public hearings, comments will be taken on the following issues. Conditional District REZ 228, designate AC Lineberger House Number 1 as historical local landmark as LM-005. Designate William Clarence Wilson House as historic local landmark LM-006. And EDC, an incentive grant for Project Beach. Before we begin, let me outline the rules and procedures of the hearing. Citizens wishing to make a comment will be recognized by the chair and then requested to step to the microphone for their comments. Citizens will state their name and address for the record. Comments tonight will be limited to 3 minutes. All questions shall be directed to the chair for response. The chair shall rule on all points of order during the hearing. Do I hear a motion to go into closed session? Motion made by Commissioner Hovis, seconded by Commissioner Sheehan. All in favor? We are now in public hearing. The Gaston County will take citizens' comments on public hearing, conditional district REZ 228 TKC Land Development 2 LLC is the applicant. Ms. Peyton Wiggins, Planner 2, Building and Development Service, will provide a brief overview. Once she has completed her comments, citizens' comments will be taken. Ms. Wiggins.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. REZ-25-05-13-00228 is a conditional rezoning request from TKC Land Development 2 LLC for PIDs 142861 and 142862 on Lewis Road in Gastonia. The applicants are looking to rezone from the R1 Single Family Limited Zoning District with the U.S. Urban Standards Overlay to the CD-C1 Light Commercial Conditional District with the U.S. Urban Standards Overlay. The property owner is Christian Valencia. The subject parcel is south of Gastonia city limits in the southwest quadrant of the county. Currently, the 2 subject properties are vacant with single-family residential homes surrounding them. The smaller parcel is 0.48 in size, and the larger parcel is 0.96 acres, totaling 1.44 acres for the entire site. While it's not pictured here, just to the south of these properties is Chapel Grove Elementary School. As for the environmental features, the site is relatively flat and there is no flood on the property. And the subject parcels are within a large pocket of the R1 Single Family Limited Zoning District with some C1 in the larger vicinity. However, the C1 parcels are currently either vacant or have single-family dwellings and therefore residential in nature. This slide shows those who were noticed for tonight's public hearing. Per the Gaston County UDO, we noticed all adjacent property owners within a 200-foot buffer for conditional rezonings. This exceeds the North Carolina general statute requirements for noticing. Those notices were mailed on November 24th and a sign was placed on site the same day. Since then, planning staff has not received any calls or inquiries about this request at this time. And this slide shows the information for those who received a mailed notice. So like with any conditional rezoning request, here's the associated site plan. The proposal includes the construction of a 10,640 square foot Dollar General retail store. The proposed building meets all required setbacks and the site complies with the general buffer requirements outlined in Chapter 11 of the UDO. Parking is provided in both the front and side yards. Additional site features include a designated dumpster location, a monument side, and loading areas for store operations. As shown on the site plan meets the required setbacks for the underlying C1 zoning district. Since the property is next to a residentially zoned district, a 30-foot setback is required along the side and rear property lines. This proposal provides 30 feet on all sides, the front, rear, and sides. Another ordinance section we reviewed included the supplemental regulations for the retail use. Section 8.2.32 outlines these regulations, and in this case, no regulations apply to a retail establishment within this district or this size store. Therefore, the applicant complies. In addition, Section 11.3.2 of the ordinance requires a Type D buffer between commercially and residentially zoned properties. This buffer must be located on the commercial site. Here, the applicants are proposing a Type D buffer, option 1, along the side and rear property lines. While addressing the Planning and Zoning Board's comments, the applicant team had to do some shifting to the site and reduce parking spaces. This has been added as an area of relief for this request as the UDO requires 43 spaces for this use and the applicants are proposing 32 spaces. This request has been supported by the Dollar General Corporate, and a letter of support has been included as an attachment in your staff packet. Other general ordinance sections we looked at during this review included the definition of the retail use and the underlying zoning district definition for the proposed C1 light commercial district. We also reviewed the conditional district definition in the table of uses in section 7.5, which confirmed that retail is a permitted use in the underlying zoning district. The site is currently planned to be served by a private well and septic system. However, there have been discussions between the applicant team and the county's Office of Capital Improvements regarding a potential connection to the Lewis Road Waterline project. If the applicants choose to connect, coordination and confirmation of the water source will occur during the construction document review phase. As for roads, both road frontages, Lewis Road and Holly Hills Drive, are NCDOT owned and maintained roads. The Gaston County TRC reviewed this project on September 3rd and provided the following comments. The GCL MPO provided their standard letter, which is included in your staff packet, and stated there are no funded transportation improvement projects within the immediate vicinity of the site on the STIP. However, on the CTP, it does identify recommended bicycle facility improvements along Lewis Road, although these are unfunded at this time. Other TRC comments included no comments from building inspections and EMS. Environmental Health stated the applicants would need to apply for well and septic permits, and Natural Resources stated that sediment and erosion control, as well as post-construction stormwater plans will need to be submitted for review. This department also noted that the project will be a high density and require a primary stormwater control measure for the stormwater treatment. The applicant advertised and held 2 public information meetings as previously required by the UDO. These meetings were held on August 6th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. and August 7th from 12:30 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. at the Gaston County Administration Building. No members of the public attended either meeting. This case has also been added to the Planning and Zoning Current Cases page on Engage Gaston, and there have been 0 questions submitted online as of this afternoon. So for this request, staff is recommending 2 conditions of approval. For the record, those are a recombination plat must be processed prior to the issuance of the zoning permit, and the proposed septic field location may be adjusted during construction document review as needed. Final placement shall be coordinated with and approved by Gaston County Environmental Health and must be finalized prior to the issuance of a zoning permit. So this request went before the Planning and Zoning Board twice. During the first meeting on October 6th, the board continued the case and requested additional information regarding stormwater, photometric details, landscaping, and utility plans. In response, the applicant team updated the site plan to include a subsurface stormwater management facility and expanded landscaping details. The applicant team also prepared a comprehensive photometric plan illustrating the proposed site lighting layout, and this document has been included in your staff packet. The applicants additionally identified the proposed septic field along the northern property line. Because this represents the intended location, staff has included the condition of approval requiring final placement to be coordinated with environmental health prior to the issuance of any permits. This condition provides flexibility should the septic field location require adjustment based on future perk test results. At the second meeting for the Planning and Zoning Board on November 17th, the board concluded that the applicant had adequately addressed all of their concerns and recommended approval by a 9-0 vote. As for the comprehensive land use plan, the subject parcels are within Area 5, Scenic Gaston, Southwest Gaston Small Area Plan. The comp plan identifies this property under the rural community future land use. Rural communities are those areas in the largely rural areas where there is a number of residential buildings on smaller lots built closer to the roadway. Driving through these areas, you feel like you're in a neighborhood, and these areas may serve a purpose like providing homes but still maintaining a neighborhood look and feel. Staff finds this application as presented consistent with the goals and the rural community future land use designation, as it will allow for the increased commercial opportunities along existing thoroughfares. So as a reminder, this is a conditional rezoning request, meaning that the site plan before you this evening will be tied to the property if approved. If the applicant would like to change the use or the site plan at a future time, the applicant must go through this process again. and come before the Planning and Zoning Board and Board of Commissioners for another approval. So, Mr. Chairman, this concludes my presentation, and I'm happy to answer any questions y'all may have.
Thank you, ma'am. Are there any comments from the applicant at this time wishes to speak? Hold on. Yes, please step up, please.
Hey, how is everyone tonight? My name's Taryn. I'm with TKC Land Development, Stetson. Do you need my address? 4500 Cameron Valley Parkway, Suite 400, Charlotte, North Carolina, 28211. So yes, we are a build-to-suit developer based out of Charlotte, and we are a preferred developer for Dollar General as well. So they give us points where they would like to be in the county. They have a whole team that researches, and so we go out and find the land, and we're here to represent them. And I'm here to answer any questions.
I'll ask you to have a seat right there until we get through
Yeah.
here just for a second. Any citizens wishing to comment at this time, if you will please just stand in line as you come over, and then we'll come one by one for 3 minutes. I'll ask that. So some of you guys are on the regular agenda to speak. Was that just out of turn? Eric, you guys are all just for the regular agenda. You're not on it, right? Just for this, for the
Just for
zone.
this.
Okay, thank you.
Just for this. My name's Blair Hall. I live at 115 Kings Drive, Kings Mountain, North Carolina. And for most people, you don't know that is in Gaston County. We deal with that a lot. I'm just here to let you know that I grew up on Holly Hills Drive, and that area is a small, knit community. And the worst thing that could happen is for you to bring this type of commercial business into that area. We have 2 staple stores in that area that this store is going to affect greatly. You have Brianna's up at the corner, and then you have Cornerstone Store. They have been there since I was a child. And this Dollar General is going to take business away from people who are in this community, who live here and work here. It's also going to affect our quality of life in Crowder's Mountain Township. That is the mountain. We have a scenic byway that runs out there. We do not need Gastonia continuously to croak their mess into Crowder's Mountain Township. Gastonia needs to stay where they're at. Leave the west side alone. This is just one step to allow them to get further and further into the Crowder's Mountain Township. And I'm asking every one of y'all not to approve this zoning request. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, sir.
How you doing? My name's Eddie Brown. I live at 5067 Lewis Road, Gastonia, which would be directly across the street from this. I'm urging y'all not to approve this. Not because it's gonna take away from a small-handed pantry, but it's the safety end of it. This creates a lot of high crime. Not to mention it's gonna gather up a whole lot of wrecks that already happens at the bottom of that hill. And Lord knows if anybody's ever been through that area, if we have any county police officers, they'd be more than happy to back me up on it. One of their drivers cleared out my yard and hit a tree in a county police department. Trained drivers. We have accidents out here left and right at the bottom of that hill. And with this thing that's gonna be bringing a lot of crime, it's too close to an elementary school where we already have problems that, you know, the county commissioner's already been fighting for to get rid of in our great county. We do not need this in our area. We don't need the traffic to this area, and we don't need the crime, and we sure don't need another pileup. I'm a retired fireman for 25 years. I'm now serving on vice chairman of the board at Crowder's Mountain Fire Department. So I know the wrecks that happens in this area. And our commissioner here, Mr. Chad Brown's been in that area. He knows these roads. And anybody that's ever traveled that way, Mr. Hovis and stuff, and any of y'all that's come out there, they're highly wrecked from Chapel Grove School all the way down past the church, all the way down to Brianna's is a high traffic and high accident area. So I'm begging y'all, please do not bring here, let this happen. Thank you. Y'all have a blessed day.
I got something to hand out. Can I bring it up to you?
Motion to accept. If you could please just hand it, we'll start with Bob here, Mr. Riley, right here.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I live at 5046 Lewis Road. I'm one piece of property over from where this site is designated to be built. If you look at most of all the Dollar Generals in Gaston County, which I have done, they are all mostly constructed within other areas of commercial development. This one will not be even remotely close to anything that's commercially developed. In addition, in looking at that site plan, I know there's a heavy landscape plan that's designed for this, but the way this lot sits down below the road, I don't know how much screening is actually going to be achieved with all the landscaping and the fencing that's planned. And if you will look at these pictures, and I've started at North New Hope Road, you can see the back of these stores. Dollar General has I don't know if it's a practice or a procedure, whatever it is, they have these carts that they roll out into the parking lot. And you can see it time and time and time again. And if you will turn to the very last page that I just gave you of photos, that is the Cherville location. And if you will notice, at the back of the property, the Cherville location, you can see from the street they've got their carts stacked in the back there. And then if you look at the aerial view, you'll see all the debris that's blown at the back of that building. These buildings, unfortunately, over time become less and less maintained for cleanliness, and it's a problem all over the county, and you can see it, and that's why I printed these pictures off. This is going to be the same issue where we are, and it'll come with time, and I know it's a deal with staff turnover and that sort of thing. But not only that, there's been some studies showing that having these Dollar Generals built near you, some studies have shown that property values drop anywhere from 16 to 21%. And this proposed site has no other commercial businesses near it. And, you know, the question is, too, can't we just leave some of the areas alone? All of this area over here is being developed. We moved out into the county to get away from development. So can't we just say, we're just deciding we're not going to allow this to happen? We're already having houses gobble us up. We don't want this Dollar General stuck right in the middle of where we live. And just like Blair was talking about, between Cornerstone and Brianna's, both of those stores have recently been reacquired. These folks that have bought these businesses are trying to get them up out of the ground. Cornerstone almost dried up, but the people have made a hard push to get that store reinvigorated. They're doing pretty well. If we stick to Dollar General here, right here at this major intersection where the school is, you throw in all the houses that are being out here, we're going to have a real problem. And I think also you're going to have a lot of negative effect to these two convenience stores, which we frequent quite often and are glad to have. We do not need this Dollar General. I urge all of you, Bob Hovis, you are Crowders Mountain Township representative. I especially beg you, do not approve this rezoning. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is that just one more over there? Yeah, go ahead, sir.
My name is George West. I live at 5076 Lewis Road on the corner of Holly Hills and Lewis Road. I just want to reiterate everything that Mr. Brown said. My house, all my neighbors, everyone across the street from me, everyone has been victims of car accidents because of the way that the hill and the curve meet at the same time. I've replaced my mailbox. The city has replaced signs because they're constantly being knocked down. I feel that with the Dollar General being there and increased traffic is just going to endanger more accidents and lives. Also, I'm concerned about the property values of the houses, residential areas, and I just want to reiterate that I do hope that you decide against putting a commercial property out in a residential neighborhood.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening. I live on Holly Hill Drive, and our road is bad with traffic. I've had cars pass me right in front of my driveway, going up that grade. I've seen cars upside down on the roof, up the intersection, down in where you want to put the Dollar General, under top, brand new cars. I've had other cars all over that place. I've been The man ran across the road from Hollyhill Drive. I've seen cars go over across my road down and go right over in the ditch and not up to the roof. But there's no reason for it. There's no reason to have a Dollar General in there. We go to Dollar General 321, Davis Park Road, all there's within 20 miles or less, you can find 15, 20, 30 stores. I don't see what. You got all kinds of stores out there. We got a quiet neighborhood. I like to see it that way. When you put Dollar Generals in, you bring trouble. I haven't seen it yet. You're stealing, people steal, people shoot, shot. I just want to see anybody get hurt because of that dollar store. So that's what I'm going to say. I just want to make sure everybody knows that's a bad intersection down there off on Lewis Road when they come around off that hill by the schoolhouse. I've seen them go into the trees down there. So that's not right. So anyway, I don't want it.
Sir, can you state your name and address on the microphone for the record, please?
1015 Hollyhill Drive. I'm the
And your
first
name?
house up on the hill.
And your name?
Pardon?
Your name?
Luther Bowman.
Luther Bowman. Thank you.
It's on the map.
Thank you, sir.
And one more thing, or forget it. Why didn't everybody down there get one of these maps? You didn't notify that this was gonna have a meeting on this thing. I talked to a man right above me. He had no idea what was going on. So,
I will get Ms. Wiggins to address that, but we only do anybody who is touching the actual property adjacent to that, so any contiguous piece of
if
property.
I'm not mistaken, on that white paper letter I got,
I
it
understand.
says invite the public.
Okay.
Well, how are they gonna get invited if nobody tells them?
And
If nobody else knew about that, everybody didn't know about it. I called Mr. West there, asked if he checked out his letter, he said, I haven't been out the mailbox. So, they all should be notified for this stuff, so,
I thank you, sir.
yep.
Any other comments from any other citizens at this time on this issue? I'll take from the Board of Commissioners. Commissioner Sheehan.
I sign up to speak is in opposition of this project. If you would, please stand. Just out of curiosity. Okay, thank you.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Just for the record, if you need to speak, I'll let you come speak if you want. Okay. Commissioner Sheehan.
Ms. Wiggins, would you mind, please? I want to go back to when you were discussing about the UDO requirement of the parking spaces. That should be 45, is that correct, based on our current UDO?
I believe it's 43 based off the square footage.
43.
Yes.
And so why are we considering dropping down to 32 in this situation?
So with the septic field location and then the stormwater management facility that they put under the parking lot area, they had to cut some of those spaces down. So they felt as though that could be an area of relief for since they were going conditional rezoning, they could ask for the area of relief. And so they were like, just to fit everything on the property. That was just something they incorporated in their
Because
site
based
design.
on these drawings that we have here, with just the amount of landscaping, which is a lot, and a 10,500 square foot building, and this is on a 1.45 acre lot, this is a lot going on a pretty small piece of dirt. Would you agree with that?
I would.
Okay. That's all I have right now, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Mr. Bailey.
Yes, one quick question. I was speaking to someone a little earlier. What's the closest Dollar General in the vicinity to this one?
I would say either Linwood Road or there's one on 321.
Would you know
Linwood
the
and Motor
distance?
School.
Anybody know the distance? Approximately?
Okay.
The 3 miles?
Just have to let the speaking only go from where we're at here, please. Go ahead.
So would you say approximately 3 miles then?
I would say probably between this area and the one on the corner of Linwood and Myrtle School Road.
Thank you.
Mr. Sheehan.
Mr. Chair, Ms. Wiggins, one more question. I didn't see in the notes here, has there been a perk test performed on that property?
Not yet, so that's why we added that as a condition of approval. The applicants were looking to secure the rezoning before perk testing, and that's why we incorporated the condition of approval where that area could move around on the site plan depending on the
So we
perk
have
test
no knowledge
results.
as to if it will perk or not.
I don't know that at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Seeing no more questions, I'll ask, Mr. Cloninger.
So what are the noise levels related to having that business there?
So the noise ordinance would come out of the code of ordinance, and I'm not 100% sure what that would look like at this time. I don't think from a zoning perspective and at this level of where we are in the review, I could answer that.
I have a few questions. I guess have been going by there frequently here just to see what's going on with this. I don't feel comfortable with the roads and how we have 3 roads intersecting in less than a quarter of a mile, which is one issue. It's already dark as well. I was down there. I went to travel just to see what would happen with some of it. I don't like the fact that we're in a residential neighborhood. We have lighting that's going to be from a commercial entity glaring. Obviously, we know that there's screening and stuff around, but that kind of hides of a, I don't know if you guys seen projection light, where you have light behind something, it kind of blinds to that happen. But when somebody comes out of that particular one in, one out is all it is for me, and that's my issue. I don't like the way this plays out. I don't like the way the traffic is. Obviously, it is a commercial in a residential neighborhood, but I don't like the way this sets up. Dollar General typically has people who will walk to that. There are no crosswalks. There's no sidewalks. There's no advantage to where I could see this coming and giving approval on my behalf to where it says this is a safe, to me, it's a safety issue all the way around. So I think we're creating a bigger issue right now with this particular location. I know there was not a traffic study because of the trips and stuff, but I think for your knowledge, I want you to understand, I'm not against somebody bringing their business to town. I'm against what's happening. We had the same issue over in the River Bend where we had issues where somebody wants to be right on the corner of a busy thoroughfare. And I have been there. I was down there when there was a wreck before when I did the ride-along. Unfortunately, when I did it with the police one night, that was where the wreck was. So I do see that, and that's some of the issues that I have. I don't mind you looking at some other area or something like that, but on this one, I'm not going to be for that. Commissioner Hovis.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Sheehan's comment about parking was kind of valid and kind of what I was looking at. It appears we're trying to put a square peg in a round hole. We're trying to pack too much into this site, and I want to bring up a point that nobody's spoken about. When we get a delivery, when a delivery comes to Dollar General, it's usually in a fairly large van truck or even tractor trailers. We have a Dollar General right there in the middle of Bessemer City, and it gets chaotic on that lot, and it has a lot more parking, and it has adjacent driveways that go all the way around it. But this lot, in order to enter, they're going to have to enter there off of Lewis Road, pull up into the front parking, and then back down into this area where there's 12 parking spaces. I believe that's towards the south. Yes, towards the south of the building. And while they're unloading, those 12 parking spaces are going to be unusable. And I question the functionality of the site, as well as being in the middle of the residential area and the impact of light and other things. So I feel like we're losing our neighborhood character, and I would not be in favor of it for those reasons. Thank you.
Any other questions from the board at this time? Seeing none, just to recap, the Planning and Zoning Board unanimously recommended approval, finding it to be reasonable due to the fact of the commercial property. In fact, the public interest was consistent with the goals of the comp plan. Do I hear a motion to accept the Planning Board and Zoning Board's recommendation to approve? Do I hear a motion? By having no motion, I would say it fails and disapproval. We have to vote if we're going to do something correct, even though we have to. Yes.
I move that we deny the applicant's request for rezoning based on the conversations from the dais tonight by those of us who've spoken, because we feel like it is anti-character related to the neighborhood, and it's too tight and too confined a site to allow this not to have a negative impact on the community.
Motion is to disapprove the zoning issue for tonight's subject matter, which is the Dollar General in
Right,
REZ-228.
correct.
Is that good with you, Mr.?
And it's not, it's reasonable, and is it in line with the comprehensive plan or not in line with the comprehensive plan?
The use, in my opinion, is in line. The site in itself doesn't meet the requirements of the comprehensive plan because it's too constrictive.
So you have that, so the motion.
So you can put the consistency statement.
The motion is to disapprove the zoning planning board recommendation to deny REZ 228.
Correct.
Motion made by Commissioner Hovis, seconded by Commissioner Sheehan. Any discussion? All in favor? It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. Mr. Goldberg, if you could get that consistency statement on how we will look at that for a new statement, if we were good for that, ready to
We're
move
good,
forward?
yes, sir.
Okay, good, thank you. Thank you very much. The next item, the Gaston County Commission will take citizens' comments on LM-005, an ordinance to designate A.C. Lineberger House, number 1, at the 203 North Main Street, Belmont, as a historic location. Ms. Shelby Barkley, Planning Technical Building and Development Services, will provide a brief overview. Once she has completed her comments, citizens' comments will be taken. Ms. Barkley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Barkley, I'm going to hold you just for a second. All right, continue, ma'am.
All right. LM 250718000005 is a local landmark designation request for parcel ID 125409, located at 203 North Main Street in Belmont. The applicants are John and Jody Kynes. The owner is Lighthouse Lodge LLC, for which the Kyneses are listed as managers on the Secretary of State's website. The property is being referred to as the A.C. Lineberger House number 1. The property is located on the corner of North Main Street and West Woodrow Avenue in downtown Belmont. The property and structure are part of the National Historic District in Belmont, and this property was surveyed and included in the original inventory list of historically significant properties in Gaston County. The aerial photo shows the main house, which is surrounded by other residential homes. Several of these homes are also designated local landmarks. Please note that the aerial photography does not reflect the renovation that took place earlier this year, which added an attached garage to the western elevation of the house. This map shows who all received a mailed notice with information about tonight's public hearing. The case was also advertised as required by our local ordinance and state statutes. Staff has not received any inquiries on this request. This slide shows the contact information for the property owners shown on the previous slide. Process-wise, this request has followed the standard landmark designation procedures. The applicant has been working with the HPC and staff since the end of 2023. The property was placed on the study list at the HPC's meeting on January 16th of 2024. The application and designation report were submitted to the HPC on July 18th of 2025. The designation report was sent to the state for review and comments on August 14th, and the state's comments were reviewed, and the HPC voted to send this request to the City of Belmont for their recommendation. The request was presented to Belmont at their council workshop meeting on October 20th, where it was unanimously recommended for approval. Per state statute and the county's ordinances, landmarks may be designated if they have special significance. For us, this means that the property and structure need to have historical, architectural, or cultural significance, or possess integrity of design, setting, workmanship, materials, feelings, or association. This structure is presented based on its cultural importance to the area, but it also possesses architectural and historical significance and a high level of design integrity. The house was built in 1910 for Abel Caleb Lineberger Sr. and his family. While the structure itself is a great example of an American craftsman-style home, A.C. Lineberger Sr. is well known for being a prominent textile leader in Belmont and Gaston County. The house was also designed by one of the first leaders in North Carolina's early 20th century architectural profession, Charles Christian Hooke, who is known for his designs of Trinity College, which is now Duke University, Duke Manor in Charlotte, and the A.C. Lineberger House No. 2, which is also a designated landmark. Please note that all photos were provided by the applicant. This is the exterior of the home from North Main Street, which features a broad front gable with projecting side gables, all adorned with plaster and decorative half timbering at their apexes. This image shows the south elevation as seen from West Woodrow Avenue and highlights the slate roof and attached garage that was part of the 2025 restoration project. The garage facade was designed to match the historic features of the home using similar materials. This image shows the north elevation as seen from the neighboring property, also known as the R.B. Suggs house. The second story features two double-hung 9/1 windows. Exposed rafters accent the deep overhanging eaves. The western elevation the rear elevation of the home shows where the garage entry and covered back porch were added during the 2025 restoration project. The rear elevation also includes a kitchen, laundry room, and a bedroom, all of which were a part of a renovation that was completed around 1980. Of note, the 2025 restoration project was well documented throughout the design designation report and received an award for excellence by Preservation Gaston. This slide shows the site plan accompanying the designation report. The local landmark designation request only includes the property and the exterior of the home. The guest cottage built around 1940 on the west side of the property is not considered a contributing structure and is not included in this designation request. This means that if designated, the guest cottage would be taxed at its regular value. The information on this slide is taken directly from tax records, and the present use value program coordinator estimated the changes in tax revenue. If this designation request is approved and the property owners go through the application process with our tax department, the city of Beaumont would see a decrease in property taxes collected by $2,395.94, and the county would see a reduction by $3,154.21. Historic local landmarks fall under the real property tax exemptions and exclusions program. This exclusion allows for the property to be taxed uniformly on the basis of 50% of the true value of the property. I have a full breakdown if needed. Please note that this is not an automatic tax deduction, and the program is for tax deferment. This means that if anything happens to the property that is deemed a disqualifying event, the most recent 3 years of taxes and that have been deferred through participating in this program would have to be paid back. An example of a disqualifying event is work being done to the house without obtaining a certificate of appropriateness. Something else to note is that this deferment does not run with the land like the designation does. It runs with the property owner. The property will always be designated, but it is up to the property owners to apply for the tax benefit in the future ownership changes. Mr. Chairman, this concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions regarding this property or the process for local landmark designations. We do have a member from our HPC here tonight, along with the property owners here to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, ma'am. Are there any citizens wishing to comment on this matter at this time? Please step forward, ma'am. Just state your name and address for the record, please, when you get there. Take your time.
Okay, thank you. Hello, my name is Lisa Edwards, and I live at 1508 Yellowstone Court, Gastonia. My question is, if this is going to be a historic landmark, are we going to be able to tour it as a museum?
I'm being told no, ma'am, but we can get you more information if you're interested afterwards on what those variables will be that after that distinction is made.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to make comment? Seeing no one, any questions from the Board of Commissioners? Commissioner Bailey.
Yes, I've just got a couple of questions. It looks like there's been numerous renovations to the home already.
Mm-hmm.
Is any of that considered disqualifying?
No, so the way that they did the renovations, the way they documented it in the designation report, they showed the before and after pictures. The way that we would kind of measure that is based on the Secretary of the Interior's guides for the treatment of historic properties. And because they just required that you show like a very thorough documentation of those changes, and also it was done with very similar materials to emulate what that facade already looks like. So we wouldn't really consider that a disqualifying event.
Okay. Also, I think I had heard you say something, there was actually some renovations done in the 1980s also.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of goes back, you renovated in the 1980s. Now
Mm-hmm.
it's already been renovating again recently. And it looks like the house value is just over $1 million. What is the significance to the town, the county, by representing or making it a historical landmark? Is it for the landmark, or is it just to reduce the taxes?
So where it does reduce the taxes, the idea and concept is that the money that they are saving on taxes, they will put forward to kind of maintenance and upkeep and keep this home looking nice. Also, they have to go through a certificate of appropriateness with any changes that they make, so making sure that it still maintains that historic character and integrity.
Okay, one last thing and I'll hush. The money that they're saving, is it required to be maintained for the look of the property?
Not technically. There is, of course, demolition by neglect. However, it is not something that's often seen. I don't know of any in Gaston County that are existing that would be considered in poor shape or condition. So I feel like a lot of the time, most of the time, that money really and truly is used kind of the way that the economic development style concept is intended.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Hovis.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In Gaston County, we have hundreds of private residents who have applied for and reached historic property designation. And all of those that I'm aware of have continued to reinvest and maintain those homes in a manner that we would all be proud to call our own. It's maintaining and preserving our history, our heritage, and those types of things. And these homeowners are doing it at their own cost, and this tax deferment allows them to continue to do that because the maintenance on those homes to maintain that look is more expensive than what you would find with a normal home. So it's basically an offset, so to speak. But we're fortunate that people in Gaston County want to maintain those, just like the historic preservation of the Osage Mill in Bessemer City. That building was only about 6 months from being on the ground when the developer came in and created those 139 apartments. I understand there are only 5 apartments from being leased out after starting their leasing in March of this year. And the facility is beautiful. I was one of the last people in management who was associated with that plant, and I actually have a fob, and I take people on tours of that building anytime anybody asks me, because I think it's a proud addition for the community. So those historic tax credits do a lot of different things across the county, and they're definitely an enrichment to our communities. Thank you.
Any other comments? Seeing none, I will declare the public hearing closed. Do I have a motion to approve? Motion made by Commissioner Hovis, seconded by Commissioner Cloninger. Any discussion? All in favor? It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. The next item is the County Commission will take citizens' comments on LMZ-006, an ordinance to designate the William Clarence Wilson House at 5302 Bud Wilson Road, Gastonia, as historic local landmark. Ms. Shelby Barkley, Planning Technician and Building and Development Service, will provide a brief overview. Once she has completed her comments, citizens' comments will be taken. Ms. Barkley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. LM 250904-00006 is a local landmark designation request for parcel ID 129-796, located at 5302 Bud Wilson Road. The applicant is Linda Hancock. Ms. Hancock is not able to be here tonight due to her health, but she has given consent for Ms. Pinniger to act on her behalf. The property is being referred to as the William Clarence Wilson House. The property is located on Bud Wilson Road, south of Gastonia's municipal limits. This property was surveyed and included in the original inventory list of historically significant properties in Gaston County. This aerial photo shows that the parcel is heavily wooded and is surrounded by residential tracts. The parcel in its entirety is 91.02 acres. However, the applicant is proposing to only designate approximately 4.5 acres of the approximate 91-acre parcel. Along with the 4.5 acres of land, they are requesting to designate the exterior of the house, corn crib, and gambrel roofed barn. The garage and the well house are not considered contributing structures and are not considered a part of this designation request. This map shows who all received a mailed notice with information about tonight's public hearing. The case was also advertised as required by our local ordinance and state statutes. Staff has received several general inquiries about this request. Most were concerned that it was going to be a large housing development. We explained that it was for historic preservation. This slide shows the contact information for the property owners on the previous slide. Earlier this year, the applicant began working with the HPC and staff on the designation process. The applicant completed the research and wrote the designation report, which was submitted on September 4th. The designation report was reviewed by the HPC at their meeting on September 16th, and the designation report was sent to the state for review and comments on September 19th. State comments were reviewed, and the HPC voted to send this request to you all for a final decision. Of note, this property is not in municipal limits and did not have to go before a municipal board for recommendation. Per state statutes and the county's ordinances, landmarks may be designated if they have special significance, either historical, architectural, or cultural, and maintain historic integrity. The structures and surrounding land are presented tonight based on their cultural and historical significance. They also maintain a high level of historic integrity. The substantial clapboard farmhouse was built in 1888 for William Clarence Wilson and his family in an area that is now being quickly developed into residential tracts. While the home reflects the domestic legacy of the Wilson family and the land ownership incorporates ties to the Civil War era, the barn and crib are vital agricultural remnants that illustrate the area's farming heritage. Designating these outbuildings as historic structures is essential to providing a fuller picture of the county's rapidly disappearing rural past. Here are some photos that were provided by the applicant. This is the exterior of the home from Bud Wilson Road. The two-story, three-bay house features an end-gabled roof, which was originally covered in slate. Fluted columns support the first-floor porch. Meanwhile, the second-story porch incorporates turned balusters and a triangular pediment, which shelters the second-floor doorway. This photo shows the southern elevation of the home, which provides a visual of a later addition. This photo shows the eastern elevation of the house and yard. This photo shows the northern elevation. This working farm historically contained numerous outbuildings, several of which were lost during Hurricane Hugo in 1989. The largest surviving structure is a bi-level gambrel-roofed barn constructed in 1917 to replace an earlier barn destroyed by fire. The barn retains a high level of integrity and features animal stalls and storage areas on the ground level, with a spacious hayloft above. This is an efficient design typical of early 20th century agricultural construction. As one of the few remaining examples of this barn type in Gaston County, it represents a significant element of the region's agrarian past. These photos show the corn crib, a once common but now rare building type used to store and dry corn after harvest. The information on this slide is taken directly from tax records, and the present use value program coordinator estimated the changes in tax revenue. Please note that this property is already participating in the present use value program for agriculture and forestry, meaning that at this time, 90 of the 91-acre parcel, excluding the structures, is being taxed at a reduced rate, which is determined by soil type. Currently, the property tax bill is $4,026.39. Of that total, $3,377.88 is for county taxes, and $648.51 is for fire district taxes. It's in the Union Road Fire District. Again, historic landmarks fall under the real property tax exemptions and exclusions program. This exclusion allows for the property to be taxed uniformly on the basis of 50% of the true value of the property. If this designation request is approved and the property owners go through the application process with our tax department, the 90 acres of land will continue to be taxed as a part of the agriculture and forestry side of the present use value program, and the 1 acre of land surrounding the house and structures, as well as the house, barn, and crib, would be taxed at 50% of the value. This means that the county would see a total reduction by $1,801.28. Of that total, there is a reduction of $1,511.16 for county taxes, and a reduction of $290.12 for fire district taxes. I have a full breakdown for that as well if needed. To reiterate, the tax deferment does not run with the land like the designation does, it runs with the property owner. and the occurrence of a disqualifying event would lead to the most recent 3 years of deferred taxes from participating in the historic exemption program being paid back. Mr. Chairman, this concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions. We do have a member from our HPC who is representing the property owner here tonight to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, ma'am. Are there any citizens wishing to comment on this matter at this time? Please step forward, sir.
Hello, my name is Steve Waters, and I live at 5402 Harvest Lane, and my property joins this property that's in question here. And I'm fully approve of the making it a landmark, historic landmark, because one reason, we don't want more development. Most of the people that live around in my neighborhood, we all have like around 2 acres of land, and it's quiet and private, and we want to keep it that way. My question, one of my questions was, as the landmark part, does that incorporate the whole 91 acres? No?
I am told no.
Or how much acreage would be?
Approximately 4.5 acres.
4.5 acres.
Okay. All right, so I'm just speaking for myself and my neighbors that we really would like to have it as a historic place, but we wish it would incorporate the whole property. But, okay, thank you.
Thank you. What I will do, I'll have Ms. Barkley, if anybody has any additional questions after this, if we, maybe tomorrow or something, they can email you. So if you'll please just step up and we'll get your email for the record.
My email, if you have questions, is Shelby, SHELBY, .Barkley, BARKLEY, @gastongov.com.
Angela, if you could reflect to the record, please. I want to change something. I need to have that please say Shelby Harris. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Today is her official day with her new name change, so she's excited to use her new name of Harris now. Any comments from the Board of Commissioners at this time? Seeing none, I will declare the public hearing closed. Do I have a motion to approve? Motion made by Commissioner Fraley, seconded by Commissioner Sheehan. Any discussion? All in favor? It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. The next item is the County Commission will take citizens' comments on public hearing to approve Gaston County Level 1 incentive grant pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 158-7.1 and to authorize Gaston County to enter into an economic development agreement, EDA, with Project Where She Loves to Go, the Beach. Ms. Alicia Summey, Assistant Director of EDC, provide a brief overview. And once she has completed her comments, citizens' comments will be taken. Ms. Blazer.
Thank you, Chairman Brown. Project Beach is a distribution company that EDC has been working with for about 2 years now. The project did go silent for a little while, but now we're working with them again and their developer, and they're moving at a very fast rate. They're looking to make a location decision, hopefully by the end of this month and in early January. They're looking to invest $3 million in an existing building that's been vacant since it's been built. They're also looking to create 20 direct jobs at an average annual wage of $57,000 a year. They're also going to have a lot of indirect jobs, being a distribution company there. Not only are they going to upfit the building, a little over $3 million, they're going to use the rail line, so they're going to connect to that. The incentive grant's not going to cover that, but they're looking to upfit and extend a rail spur to the current line. That's going to be at least $3 million there as well. So we're asking for a level 1 grant for Project Beach. That is our standard 5-year grant for the $3 million upfit. The building itself is not incentivized at this time, so it will only cover, the grant will only cover the upfit to the building. Happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Are there any comments from any citizens on this issue at this time? Seeing none, any questions from the Board of Commissioners? If there are no additional comments, I'll declare the public hearing closed. Thank you for this. Is there a motion made by Commissioner Hovis, seconded by Commissioner Bailey? Any discussion? All in favor? It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. Thank you. This concludes tonight's public hearings. We will look forward to seeing public hearings in the new year. Approval of the business agenda. Are there any items or revisions that need to be made to the item, or any items need to be pulled? Seeing none, do I hear a motion to approve the business agenda with items with nothing pulled from the consent agenda?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Motion made by Commissioner Hovis, seconded by Commissioner Fraley. Any discussion? All in favor? It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. Approval of the minutes. You were provided a draft minutes for the regular meeting of 10/28/25. Closed session meeting, 10/28/25. Are there any revisions? Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
Motion to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Hovis, seconded by Commissioner Fraley. All in favor? It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. The next item on our agenda is citizens' recognitions. A portion of the board's agenda is set aside for the purpose of allowing citizens the opportunity to offer comments and suggestions. The comment period is not intended to require the commission or staff to answer any questions or provide a response at all. Questions requiring a response shall be answered as soon as possible through the county manager Roten's office. Citizens' recognition tonight will be limited to 3 minutes. As I call your name, please step to the podium, state your name and address. The first citizen signed up to speak is Mr. Kevin Smith.
Good evening. My name is Kevin Smith, and my address is on South Shore Drive in Belmont, North Carolina. I serve as Division Manager and Vice President for Swinnerton Builders, and I am a Gaston County resident and taxpayer. My public comments are directed to item P on this evening's consent agenda, which is a recommendation to award to a contractor other than Swinnerton, a construction contract on the project known as the Health Department Major Renovation and Expansion. This matter was carried over from the last meeting, where it also appeared on a consent agenda. Following the bid opening, the project architect determined it was in its certified bid tabulation that Swinnerton was the low bidder on the project. In response to a challenge from one of the other bidders concerning Swinnerton's price, we were informed that County Attorney Goldberg issued a written opinion dated November 7th that reconfirmed Swinnerton was the low bidder. However, in a letter from Mr. Ray Maxwell dated November 21st, Swinnerton was advised that its bid was being declared non-responsive. In response, on November 25th, counsel for Swinnerton issued a 4-page letter entitled, quote, "Formal objection, request for reconsideration, and public records request," end quote, that disputed the non-responsive determination. To date, we have not received any formal response to our objection and request for reconsideration. I want to make sure that all board members are fully aware of what is going on behind the scenes on this bid, because it is not clear to me whether you have been told anything other than what appears on the brief explanation for tonight's consent agenda. At the very least, this matter should be withdrawn from the consent agenda and discussed by the board in open session before the public, especially when it will cost the taxpayers of Gaston County an additional $170,000. Finally, in reviewing the bid process further, we believe Gaston County failed to advertise the change to the bid opening date for the project, which, if correct, would nullify the entire bidding process and any contract awarded on the project. Thus, the most prudent action by the board tonight may actually be to reject all bids and rebid the project. Again, this is something that the board should at least discuss in open session. Thank you for your consideration, for considering my comments. I also request that my written remarks and copies of this document I referenced be received by the clerk of the board as an official public record to this proceeding.
Thank you, sir. We will come back to this after the public comment here has been heard. Ms. Tammy Freeman? Okay. Josh Brown? And I'm gonna be honest, I don't know who the next person is,
But they're next.
but you're next. If you live on, if your phone number starts with 861 and you signed up.
Sandy Creek.
Anyway, we'll come back. Mr. Brown?
Ready? Joshua Brown, 1149 Knowles Drive, Mount Holly, North Carolina. Mr. Chairman, County Commissioners, another month, another talk. October 28th, talked to you about what is manpower in the fire service, how we have to have people in the seats on the trucks, getting out the door, responding to the calls. It's hard to rely on members at home with wives, families, kids, traveling and everything of not getting there. In the last week and a half, 2 weeks, we've had 2 fires with 2 fatalities in 2 different parts of the county. The first one occurred in Lowell, 2:40 in the morning. Brother calls 911 stating house is on fire, that his sister's trapped. First fire truck shows up with 2 people in there, which is just like we're contracted to have to be able to work. But of those 2 people, only one is able to do a single job. That has just stretched the attack line. There was so much fire involvement that he was not able to knock that back, and having to wait for additional manpower to get there to get inside the house and eventually try to locate her. She succumbed to her injuries. December 3rd, 8:30 in the morning, in North Gaston's fire district, situation occurred. The actual caller is the one who died. 911 operators were on the phone with him. I have a fire in my house. I cannot get out of my bed to get out of the house. I feel like I'm going to die. The first arriving POVs showed up, crawled into the window with just their structural gear, no breathing apparatus, and got the victim down to the floor, who was roughly about 400 pounds. And they sat there with him as he slowly continued to deteriorate until enough personnel finally showed up on scene, and they were able to cut a hole in the window and remove that victim. And he passed away as well. Just like we had talked about before, I know that the ideal goal is to have 4 on a truck, and I know that's not going to happen this next year. I understand that. We have definitely put it as a priority in getting 2 people on the fire trucks, and that's a start because that's helping to improve and increase the amount of firefighters that are showing up. But we've got to continue to push forward with that, to add a 3rd and evaluate those things to continue to assist with that. One big problem that we have to also remember is that the state of North Carolina Office of Fire Marshals, they require the first arriving fire truck and a fire district show up with 4 personnel. If that does not happen, that department gets put on a evaluation period where they have to monitor them and ensure that. It's no fault to these fire chiefs. It's no fault to these firemen. We all have lives. We all have different things that are going on. But if we can't and try to ensure that we're moving toward that direction of having firefighters at the station so they can get on the truck, be in their gear and have their equipment and respond to the calls versus having to get out of bed, get dressed, drive 7 minutes to the fire station, get on the truck, drive 10 minutes to the fire scene, and then be able to start to do the job. Time is of the essence when we're talking about this. 2 weeks, 2 fires, 2 fatalities. And since the October 28th meeting, we've had 36 reported structure fires in the county that the fire marshals have had to come out and respond to. And wintertime is just starting to get here. So probably in the January meeting, I hope it doesn't happen, but will probably be another report that we responded to more fires. Hopefully no lives have been lost. But it's just definitely something we need to truly sit down and look at that and try to put this on the forefront of things and serve our citizens. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That person that we were talking about before, here to talk about the Gaston County fire, maybe you left. Maybe live on a sandy road, Sandy Creek. Moving on. Ms. Kelly McLean.
Hi. Okay, I hate public speaking. So I just want to start, before I left here, I saw a news media show popped up saying that Gaston County actually has an increase in rabies. I'm here to talk about TNR for cats, trap, neuter, return, and the first thing they do when we do take cats in for TNR is they get a rabies vaccination. So I moved to Gaston County about 2 years ago, and to my dismay, we had kittens under our house and about 10 cats roaming around. Well, 67 cats later and $2,000 that I spent, we TNR'd these cats, and I also had a kitten die in my arms. There are about 24,000 roaming cats in Gaston County, and there's just community members running around trying to do this and deal with it ourselves, and we're here to advocate for TNR program. Tammy was supposed to talk about the program that they have in Cleveland County and talk about more statistics, but she had to leave early. So they've established one in Cleveland County, and apparently in 2021, they did speak about having a program implemented in Gaston, but it didn't go through yet. So we have about 5 or 6 volunteers that volunteer with Cat Smart Coalition, and we are doing, we're not paying out of pocket anymore, but they rely on donations from the community and some grants, but we're paying for the litter, the food, the pee pads, everything, our fuel and our time, taking care of all these cats. So I've been here, like I said, about 2 years, and I've done now 167 cats. And while most people might think, well, just let them run wild, they're not lions and tigers, they're domesticated animals, and the humans have failed them. And it's our responsibility to start taking care of the problem. And I know some people also believe that let's pick them up, move them somewhere else, euthanize them. But it's been a known fact that that doesn't work because there's a vacuum effect. More cats move in. TNR slowly reduces the population because it stops the reproducing. They get vaccinated, they get rabies shots, and it also decreases the, I guess, the negative aspects of the males neutering, fighting, the yowling, the spraying, and it increases the you know, people don't like that. And then it causes conflict with neighbors. And so when you reduce that population, eventually that goes away and more cats don't move in. And just, I've seen it myself in my own neighborhood. In that 67 cats in that about a half-mile radius, cats get hit by cars, unfortunately, they die younger outside, and we now only have about 10 cats walking around. It's sad, but that's the best way to take care of it. So what we're asking for with this TNR program, that helps the community, because we can't keep doing this. We're spending our own money, and we're asking for donations from people that don't have the money, and you know, there are people out there feeding community cats, and they can barely get by on themselves, and they're just giving them scraps of food. So we're going out and trying to help these people, but it's just a small group of us, and it's just not sustainable.
Thank you. With the board's permission, I was hasty and Scott was raising his hand, and I apologize, I went by. He was actually trying to pull something during the business agenda. Commissioner Sheehan, what item was that?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to pull items P and R, please.
P and R. I certainly apologize, that was my fault. So I'd like to go back to visit that, to change that back, Andrew, we're gonna vote on. Do I hear a motion to approve it with items P and R pulled? And I think that was Bob.
Yeah,
Bob made the motion.
I'll
you're
change
pulling
it, change it for those two things. No
Yeah,
problem.
and Sheehan, Commissioner Sheehan. And any discussion? All in favor? Items P and R, will, not G and R, just in case anybody was, but, all right, so we'll move forward to approval of the consent agenda. Do I hear approval of the consent agenda with items P and R pulled? Motion made by Commissioner Sheehan, seconded by Commissioner Bailey. Any discussion? All in favor? It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. Items added to the non-consent agenda was a resolution closing county offices on January 2nd, 2026 in recognition of appreciation of Gaston County employees. This is a Friday after New Year's, if I'm correct, Mr. Manager. I know you guys were briefed on this earlier today. Do I hear a motion to approve? Motion made by Commissioner Hovis, seconded by Commissioner Sheehan. Any discussion? All in favor? It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. Next item, items pulled. We'll start with P as the first item pulled from the consent agenda. I will let Commissioner Sheehan make the motion, seconded by myself. And discussion, Commissioner Sheehan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Goldberg, I'd like to get some information from you, just for the public to really understand where we've been, where we've come from, where we are in this situation, because it's been quite confusing, I think, for a lot of people. And we need to give some clarification to our citizens as to what's going on in this situation, please.
Yes, Commissioner. Mr. Maxwell, if you'll join us too as well, would be helpful. Commissioners, as has been discussed previously, the matter being bid is on the question of whether to award a contract for the renovation of the health department building. A few weeks ago, the county received a number of bids from local areas. At the time, the lowest apparent bidder was Swinnerton Building. The next lowest apparent bidder was Beam Construction. There's a few others from there. At the time of the bid opening, it was discovered that Swinnerton had made what appeared to be a calculation error on its total bid sheet. So the total base bid which is the number they had to kind of come up with. That was their bid, and where they had discretion and they were competing on, and was made clear that that would be the number that would determine the lowest apparent bidder. That number was there, but then there was an addition of allowances and contingencies, and those are fixed numbers. So you add 5%, and there's a number based on that calculation, and then you add some fixed numbers for other projects that weren't covered underneath the contract, and that was added to the total bid. So the base bid did not align with the calculations in the contingencies that were required to be calculated and in the total bid amount. The numbers just didn't go together. Noticing the apparent error, Swinnerton was given the opportunity to either accept that error and use the lower number that was in the total base, or they were allowed to, under the statute, withdraw their bid. They chose not to withdraw their bid and to acknowledge the lower total base amount and to adjust the numbers accordingly to the favor of the county. It was about 150,000, give or take, difference, savings to the county as a result. As that progressed, it was noted that the bid that Swinnerton also included another error. That error was they were supposed to identify historically underutilized business subcontractors and to identify the amount of their bid that would be granted to those subcontractors. That statute, that is required by North Carolina statute explicitly. And they did not fill that blank in. So while the earlier error, it was recommended for the board to waive that error, not to use that to affect their eligibility. That was a statutory error. We believe that's required by statute, and that it would be material error. It would be unfair to the other bidders who filled that blank in and would be bound by that number. Where Swinnerton had not filled that blank in, it would not be bound to any number. That would be an unfair advantage. And material deviation requiring this, we would recommend that it be removed, the bid being thrown out, and in that case, the next lowest apparent bidder would be in construction. And that's the item before you at this time. Mr. Maxwell is available on more details on the nature of the project, and I do believe we have the architect as well available.
Yes.
If you have any questions regarding the bid specifications or that other processes. I'm happy to answer any other questions.
Mr. Sheehan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Ray, this calculation error on the proposal that came in, how did we miss it? I mean, who checks it? Where's the checks and balances? Is it in your office? Why did we not catch it?
So we did not miss it. So when we opened bids and evaluated the bids themselves, the apparent low bidder at the time did include their base bid. And we have very little information about what that base bid is comprised of. But after they submit the base bid on the bid form, they have to multiply that by 5% to get the contingency amount. And when they did that multiplication, they came up with a different number than the 5%. So we did catch that error and we brought it to the attention of legal, and that was a discussion about that being not a material difference. It was actually in the county's favor. So that's when we offered them the opportunity to withdraw their bid or acknowledge and accept the correct number. And that does happen from time to time in the bid process where there may be an obvious calculation error that's on the bid form. We can't make a judgment call as to how they came up with their base bid, but when it's a simple calculation of multiplying that base bid times a percentage, we can certainly determine whether that's the correct number.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Anyone else? I guess my question would be for the attorney. During our due diligence of this matter, because it's been going on, everything that we feel has been fair and prudent.
Yes, sir. I believe the advertising was statutorily required, done properly. Everything was transparent. What we see is appropriate recommendation.
Any other questions from the commissioners at this time? Seeing none, item was pulled, item P, and it was given as a motion made by Commissioner Sheehan, seconded by, I'm sorry who that was, Angela. Oh, me. Maybe that's why I didn't know. Sorry. A lot going on today. So, motion made by Commissioner Sheehan, seconded by myself. Any discussion? All in favor? It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. Next item to be pulled was item R. Motion made by Commissioner Sheehan, seconded by myself for discussion. Commissioner Sheehan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just really quick, I just would like to know, what's the approximate size of this acquisition?
As in acreage of
Yes, sir.
land? Just under an acre. If I'm remembering correctly, there's a line of 6 pieces of property along there that we're working to obtain from the landowners. Each of them is just under an acre. This one, if I'm remembering correctly, 0.81 acres.
And how many of the 6 do we currently possess?
2.
And is the ideal use of this area going to be for buffer or for expansion?
For right now, we are looking at just pure buffer area. The need at the landfill is soil, dirt, gravel. That is what we're looking at this area for.
And this particular parcel, is there a residence on it or just?
Currently, yes.
So I guess we will demolish that?
Eventually, yes, we will.
So not initially?
Not initially.
What are we going to do with it?
The deals that we negotiate with the homeowners allow them to stay there for a certain amount of time, and then they vacate the property. Once they vacate, we will demolish.
What is the length of time of that agreement?
Currently, this one, we're looking at 5 years.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any other questions from the board at this time? Seeing none, motion made by Commissioner Sheehan, seconded by myself. Any discussion? All in favor? It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. No items were added by the majority. Appointments, Commissioner Fraley.
None this evening, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Sheehan.
I have one requested appointment, sir, Local Emergency Planning Committee, Ms. Tara C. Lane.
Mr. Chairman, I do have one, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Overlooked it.
I was second, let me second.
Yeah.
Sheehan.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Commissioner Hovis. All in favor? It is you fooled me, you didn't go right. I couldn't see behind it, but it was unanimous, Madam Clerk. Commissioner Fraley.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, reappointment, Mr. Jeff Cash for Caramont Health Memorial Board of Directors.
Seconded by Commissioner Sheehan. All in favor? It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. Commissioner Bailey.
Yes, I have one also for the Local Emergency Planning Committee, reappointment for Ms. Stephanie K. Westbrook. I think that's it. Yes, sir.
Seconded by Commissioner Hovis. All in favor? It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. Commissioner Cloninger.
Yes, I have one. It's a reappointment of Mistress Tiffany Donnelly to the Local Emergency Planning Committee.
Seconded by Commissioner Hovis. All in favor? It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. Commissioner Hovis.
Yes, sir, I have a couple of leads. To the EDC Commission, Mr. Stephen Weitzel, who I think is the chair currently of EDC. Reappointment is requested. Local Emergency Planning Committee, Mr. John Watts is requesting reappointment. Local Emergency Planning Committee, Mr. Anderson Holder, reappointment is requested. And Local Emergency Planning Committee, which has been vacant, we have an application from a Michael Folk.
Seconded by Commissioner Fraley. All in favor? It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. I have several. One from the Local Emergency Planning Committee, Mr. Reappointment requested by Mr. Earl Withers. The next one is Local Emergency Planning Committee by Miss Christina Rodite. Seconded by Commissioner Hovis. All in favor? It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. Next one.
Chair, I have one more too.
Yes,
My
sir.
paper kind of got buried underneath here.
I'm trying to figure
and
out
I
what's
was trying
going on
to
down
stuff
there.
around and
Please pay
find it.
attention.
Okay, I do
Go ahead,
have
sir.
one more, application for appointment to the EDC Economic Development Commission from Will Kaiser.
Seconded by Commissioner Sheehan. All in favor? It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. I have several full board appointments. Caramont Regional Health Facility, Commissioner Bob Hovis requiring reappointment, requested, requiring, same thing. Central Economic Development Commission, reappointment requested by Commissioner Bob Hovis, and the Gaston Business Association, reappointment for Mr. Tom Keeger. Seconded by Commissioner Fraley. All in favor? It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. Chair appointments, have nothing going on with that. Committee reports, Commissioner Fraley.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Sheehan.
No real report at this time, Mr. Chairman. I do want to take this time really quick just to let our employees know and staff know in the county, thank them for all their hard work for this year, wish them a very happy Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and look forward to seeing you in 26. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Bailey.
Yes, I just visited with the Gaston County Museum just a while back. Had a really good meeting with them and tour of the facility and some of their future projects. And I like where they're going. I just want to let people know a lot of the things that they have on board and their future plans. I think the Gaston County Museum will shed a nice light on this county.
Mr. Cloninger.
I just wanted to mention that I attended the Mountain Island Education State Forest Project that includes 2,000 acres of educational forests in the community, and this is a natural beauty located in Stanley.
Commissioner Hovis.
Mr. Chair, I have no reports.
I want to report to our employees and to the citizens of Gaston County. I want to let you guys know we've had such a tremendous year. Very thankful for all people involved, especially our employees who work hard every day to make sure that the community is safe, but also informed on what we're doing. So very grateful for every employee. We had some chances to do some things. It's been a tremendous year, and we awarded the employees a day off and extra today. So congratulations for that. But that was because we work hard, 365 for the citizens of Gaston County. You're the face of what happens in our community. And when that happens, people become informed, and we are become a better community all around. So I wanted to say thank you to all our employees, wishing you a Merry Christmas to every citizen and a Happy New Year. Just a side note, the web is ready for your New Year's and Christmas offerings. If you're looking for a place, Mr. Jim Morasso will take those tonight anyway, because he did treat me today for my birthday. Just let me sit down in his restaurant, so I really like that. So if you would like to, so I'd like to hear you sing. But committee reports from County Manager Roden.
No report tonight.
Esquire Goldberg.
No report, sir.
All right, thank you. It's been a very difficult day for our community and its family. I hope you'll keep our board members and everybody in your prayers. We're going to be going through some difficult times here, but we are very fortunate that we have prayer, and want to thank everybody for that. Any other matters need to come before the board at this time? Mr. Sheehan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just real quick, at a previous meeting earlier in the year, we took a board action to revisit a discussion for 5 additional sheriff positions in the courthouse that was voted on and approved in our budget this month. I would just like to know why that matter was removed from our agenda for this evening.
It was removed because was never on the agenda. I asked several members, once I think Commissioner Bailey brought it up to staff. I started with the board, got the 4 people. They said they had not changed their mind, so we did not put it back on the agenda to further. But if you'd like to bring it up next month, we certainly can, if that's what the board would like to do.
So you just had the discussion with 4 and each stop?
Once I got to 4, the discussion was over because it was already at that time. Thank you. Any other matters need to come before the board at this time? Mr. Bailey.
Yes, I actually would like it on the agenda for next month, if that's proper.
You'll add that to Matt and Angela. We'll make sure we take care of that. The commission will schedule a special meeting on January 13th to conduct its annual planning session at 12 p.m. More details to come, where and when it will happen. The work session is scheduled for later in the evening at 6 p.m. in the Harley B. Gaston Junior Public Forum. This concludes our regular meeting. The organizational meeting will convene immediately. Do I hear a motion to adjourn the meeting? Motion made by Commissioner Hovis, seconded by Commissioner Bailey. Any discussion? All in favor? It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. Good night, Purple. If you'll please take your seats, please.
We're moving into the organizational part.
The organizational meeting of the Board of Commissioners will now come to order. Our first order of business is for nominations for chairman of the board. Are there any nominations from the board?
I'd like to nominate Chad Brown.
Chad Brown. Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, I declare the nominations closed, and we will now move to a vote. The question before is whether to appoint Chad Brown as chairman of the board. I have a motion from Commissioner, forgive me, votes unanimous?
Votes.
All in favor?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? 3 and 2. 4 to 2, the chairmanship is given to Mr. Brown.
Our next order of business will be to entertain nominations for vice chairman of the board.
I would like to
Commissioner
nominate, I'd like to nominate Tom Keeger.
Okay. Commissioner for Tom Keeger. I would like to nominate Mr. Bob Hovis. Are there any other nominations? Seeing none. The first nomination we heard was for Commissioner Keeger. All those in favor? All those opposed? The next nomination will be for Commissioner Hovis for vice chairman. All those in favor? All those opposed? It's 4-2, Madam Clerk. No further nomination will be needed for tonight. I will declare the nominations closed, so we've moved on to the next page.
Appointments.
The next item is appointments. Do I hear a motion to appointment of Mr. Matthew Roten for a position of county manager? Motion made by Commissioner Hovis, seconded by Commissioner Sheehan. Any discussion? All in favor? It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. The next item is the appointment of Mr. David Goldberg for the position of county attorney. Do I hear a motion? Motion made by Commissioner Hovis, seconded by Commissioner Bailey. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. The next item is for the position of county clerk, Ms. Donna S. Buff, to the position of county clerk. Do I have a motion? Motion made by Commissioner Sheehan, seconded by Commissioner Fraley. Any discussion? All in favor? It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. Resolutions. The next order of business is resolution. Do I hear a motion to approve the resolution of meetings?
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Hovis, seconded by Commissioner Bailey. Any discussion? All in favor? It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. The resolution to approve the bonds. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Fraley, Hovis, seconded by Commissioner Fraley. All in favor? It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. The resolution of meetings for the delegation, the legislative delegation.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Hovis, seconded by Commissioner Bailey. All in favor? The next one is the resolution of the annual planning session, January 13th at 12 p.m., site to be made.
Motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Hovis, seconded by Commissioner Fraley. Any discussion? All in favor? It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. I wanted to address a few things. I want to say thank you to my colleagues for allowing me to sit as chairman one more year. This provides a substantive of what we can do as a group. We also have some things that we're working on. One of the things that happens, one of the questions was asking about change. When we're going through time of uncertainty, I think that we need continuity. I think we need to make sure that our relationships that we've developed throughout our past we can continue on. But I want to say thank you to the board. It's a great birthday present for myself, and we're having cake. If anybody wishes to have some afterwards, you're more than welcome to partake in some of the cake we have in the back. We'll bring it out front for anybody. Thank you to Miss Martha back there for taking care of the cake, but we have that. But I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for allowing me this board. This is something that the board does not get the chance to see by itself. The citizens do not have a stake in this or here. This comes from the leadership of what the board's wishes should be. And so the board continues to speak that our leadership and the movement that we're going is a foundation of firm, but we're also making sure that we create new jobs, we create economic development throughout, and we also take care of the citizens of what we're doing, and our fiduciary responsibility is always met, what we're doing in this county. I want to thank the citizens for allowing us to do what we do, because this community deserves the best, and as we continue to strive to do the things we're doing, it's a hard job. This job comes with a lot of pressure, a lot of things that happen, countless nights where we get phone calls throughout the night on different issues that may arise or something that happens, but we also get issues that come up of hurt and heartache, and we see that through our first responders. So I want to thank those people who go out every day and see these people and know that they're attended to and there's people coming to see you. So with that, just want to say thank you for this board allowing me to do this this year. Next year I will not do it. I will go ahead and bring that out there so you guys can be looking for someone to do that, because I will not after this year, because I'm very proud to have done this my year. But this concludes our meeting for tonight. Our next work session is January 13th, 6 p.m. here in the Harley B. Gaston Junior Public Courthouse Forum. Thank you for watching. If anybody has any questions, please remit those to Donna S. Buff at 866-3196. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Frady, seconded by Commissioner Sheehan. All in favor? It is unanimous, Madam Clerk. Good night, dear Dark Roots.